In Latin, we know that there are 5 declensions of nouns, and each one of these represents one of the 5 declensions that we're going to encounter. We learned the first, and we've also focused on the second, which is masculine. We see that the general pattern ends in the us, the e, masculine for the gender, and then the definition. If we go back and take a look at the declensions, we know that all of the genitive endings identify which family it belongs to. So first declension, the AE indicates this family, and in the second declension, the I indicates the second declension family. Well, if we take a look a little bit deeper into this, the second declension actually has a little subgroup. The first one we know is masculine and is normally identified by the letter O. But the subgroup looks a little different. It's still second declension because it has the I genitive, just like the masculine form up here. But if you take a look, the nouns in the second declension subgroup actually have the neuter gender, not the masculine. And another difference we're going to see is that their nominative ends with instead of us. So neuter will be our little subgroup. The second declension neuter endings are very similar to the regular second declension. The only difference is we're going to see a change in the nominative and the accusative. The nominative and the accusative have to be the same. And in the singular forms, we change the us to but the accusative still stays the same. Notice that E, O, and O are still the same. So before it was us, E, O, O, now it's E, O, O. The plurals, however, take the nominative and the accusative and change them to the letter A. Everything else still stays the same. Now, this little hint to help you memorize the difference, the change, would be nominative. Nominative indicating that the nominative and the accusative cases must be the same. And this will work for every single neuter noun in Latin, no matter what declension it's in. The nominative and the accusative must be the same. So ah. Notice how every other ending in the second declension is still the same as it was for the masculine. When we go to decline a noun, we do exactly the same thing. Change the ending to manipulate it to show the new case. And here's an example of the plurals. If we take a look, the translation is still exactly the same, even though our nominative and the accusative now have the same ending. We're going to have to really pay attention to context clues in the sentence. Same thing goes for the plural. So if we take a look at some other nouns that decline, chylum, meaning sky, we've got most of the same second declension endings except for the and the which are the nominusatives. And basium, which is kiss, that's the only change. So let's take a look at them in sentences. Here we're going to take a look at the word donum in the nominative. Donum est in villa, the gift is in the house. Here it's functioning as my subject. I know it can't be a direct object because I'm using the verb is. Alright, now let's take a look at the genitive. Doni forma est magna, the shape of the gift is large. Dative. The people gather decorations for the gift. Now accusative. Here's where we have to use our context clues. With the neuters, we know that the nominative and the accusative are the same. So we have to eliminate, can it be nominative or is it accusative? In this sentence, puer is already in the nominative, so that's the subject. And logically, a gift would not be giving anything. So here it has to be our direct object. The boy gives the gift to the girl. And finally, let's look at the ablative. The boy places a decoration on the gift. And in here helps us figure out the ablative case. So to recap, the second declension has a subgroup, which is neuter in gender. Now this works a little differently than the regular second declension because neuter nouns have what we call nominative, where the nominative and the accusative cases must be the same ending. The endings for nouns that belong to the second declension neuter are as followed: I, o, o, a, orum, is, a, is.